Welcome back, family, friends, haters, whatever you are, it don't matter. Welcome back to As a Man Thinks. We're glad to be here. We've heard a lot of feedback from you all loving our DMC, our sex explicitity episode with a couple of knuckleheads going through some craziness, but we see that you all loved it. We appreciate the comments. People have said that they've seen some positive stuff in what we're talking about. As you may see, we're also doing some different changes, so we are going through a few constructions here, but you will see a better product. So we want to continue to get better for you. We believe we're getting better. We know you're going to enjoy getting better. So fellas, what are we going to talk about today, y'all? What do we have on the agenda? I got my ideas, but I was told I'm a little too professional, a little bit too business-like. So I got to keep it very.
You express it well. Me and Courtney just kind of take over
Okay. So what are we talking about?
You said Troy, so let us know what Troy means.
Yeah, so when you hear the word Troy, most of y'all, I'm a hip hop fanatic. So you all know Pete Rock, CL Smooth, they got a song called Troy, which is They Reminisce Over You. So it's like a throwback edition. So this is going to kind of be like a throwback edition. We all have different backgrounds. I come from Boston, Northeast. Courtney comes from Chicago. Kyrie comes from Alabama. We got different areas we come from, different ideals and different things we broke through. So we want to be able to make this podcast to be something fun, something you can reflect on. What's influenced our youth? What influenced our future? What are some of those things that we grew up knowing? Some of those things to be true. Some of those things we found to be a damn lie. Either way, we want to just have fun about those different things. So
I will tell you this. I know it had to be awful, horrible to be born in Alabama. I'm just saying. I mean, to live in Alabama with all those cornfields. I mean, did you pick a lot of cotton?
Cornfields.
I'm just saying, did you pick a lot of cotton?
No.
Did you fish a lot?
I was born in slave days, man.
I mean, hey, Alabama, it still looks like slavery down there. It's a place you can't go.
Yeah. I mean, it is some places you can't go where you don't want to go.
it's everywhere too, though.
Yeah, like
Boston, Georgia, you can't go.
Yeah, Boston.
You can go anywhere in Boston.
They racist up this.
It's a different kind of racism. I live in Georgia. I just certain parts of Georgia, I just don't want to go.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Right.
But I would just hate to, I know you had to feel awful about him saying you from Alabama.
I mean,
just a thought of living in Alabama. I used to go to Alabama all the time. I hated Alabama. Hated Alabama. I don't even want to drive through Alabama.
You went to the top part of Alabama.
I don't even want to drive through
You didn't
Alabama.
even come to Mobile, man.
Mobile sounds horrible.
It is now. I ain't gonna lie. Like now, we used to never be on First 48. Now it's one of the most viewed cities on First 48. So it didn't got terrible now.
All right, well, listen, I got family from Alabama, so I'm not hating on Alabama total. Mobile is south, though. Mobile is south Alabama. Y'all are closer to Louisiana than you actually are to like Birmingham and everything else in Alabama. I actually heard Mobile is the first one that actually started Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
You see me doing your research.
Oh, I'm my family from Alabama, bro.
What's Chicago started?
Look, I got a question for y'all.
Other than the violent movement.
First of all, don't bring Chicago on this, okay? Us in Chicago,
We need to go
good.
to Chicago and pray for them, and we will be there.
We good, man. We changing. It's a transitioning happening right now in Chicago. But I got a question for y'all. All of our lives, we have been raised to be Democrats, to follow the Democratic Party. And even when we vote Democratic. Do you believe that based off of our parents and their beliefs, because people always believe that the Democratic Party is for the African American community, when I personally believe that whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, they all for self.
So I just want to confirm, when you said we, you mean black people.
Black people, correct.
That's interesting. If you go back in the day, black folks didn't used to be Democrat. They actually used to be Republican. So then I don't know exactly when the tide changed and they decided we're gonna jump Democrat or whatever, but politics is a touchy subject, and a lot of people do vote based off of their upbringing instead of actually voted based off of what the person is actually talking about. For me, I don't necessarily, I don't have to vote Democrat. I have to vote Republican. I just vote for who I feel got the best policies with, which really, in a sense, like what you said, I mean,
So you didn't have
They
a
all
red hat at
for
home
sure.
during the election? You didn't have a red hat?
nah, I have my Make America Great Again hat on. But I mean, presidents can't do much without Congress. So at the end of the day, it really don't matter who you vote. I mean, it matters, and don't get me wrong, people please go vote. But yeah, I think people vote for the wrong reasons. I think they vote just based off of their upbringing. I think they do vote Democrat. Most people, obviously, African American vote Democrat, but they can't really tell you any policies or anything. It's the reason as to why they believe that the Democratic Party is the best party. The same thing with the Republican people, which mostly white people vote. And I guarantee you they can't tell you a reason as to why they feel as though the Republican Party is the
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that the Republican Party knows exactly why they vote Republican. Because when you look at the Republican Party and what they stand for, far as my personal opinion, they are for big business, they're for low taxes, and they don't put forth any effort into making sure individuals that have less, far as people that are living in poverty, they don't care about that. They care about lining the pockets of the rich and the rich staying rich. But I mean, their policies say it.
I get and I understand that. But when I talk to people of obviously the opposite color, these people ain't rich, far from rich, but they still vote Republican. Why? Because I guess they feel like they have to. Like you say, I think, race, for the most part, when it comes to the political view, I think they do stick together for the most part. I'm gonna vote Republican, you gonna vote Democrat, and whether it's right or wrong, that's just what it is. That's what happens. Most people say get out and vote, and they know why they say get out and vote. It's not saying get out and vote for the best candidate in which you really think, because that's what they say. But we want more black people to get out and vote. Why is it important for more black people to get out and vote? Because 9 times out of 10 is gonna happen. Democrats win if most of the black people got out and vote. Now, if most of the black people got out and voted and really voted for whatever they wanted, you will never really know. It's a toss up. And then even when Trump got voted in the first time, you almost
you saying he gonna get voted in again?
No, what I'm saying, when he got voted in, I don't know, he might get voted in again, I don't know. But when he got voted in, he didn't even win the popular vote. You got these electoral colleges that really decide who become the president. So even though Hillary won the popular vote, which almost not like 95% of the time, the president or the person that wins the popular vote is the president. It happened with Trump. The electoral colleges voted differently. So how important really is your vote if the electoral colleges have the last say?
I think your vote's important. I think voting is important. I mean, when you look at our red states compared to our blue states, I mean, at the end of the day, I will agree with one thing with you is I was raised in an area in Chicago where, we were Democrats. Everybody around me was Democrats, right?
For the right reasons?
Well, they were Democrats because they felt as if we were all poor. We didn't have anything. Everybody in our neighborhood was poor, didn't have much of nothing. And so, we felt like the Democrats had, the better understanding of what we were dealing with at that particular time than Republicans. And even after we moved out of that situation and we got into a better situation, that maybe we were around more Republicans, it still didn't force our hand to vote for Republicans because our minds was focused on the fact of Democrats is for the people, for our Black people. And that's not the case. It doesn't matter if you, I've learned that it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or you're Republican, the government is for the government. They are for lining their own pockets and benefiting themselves, is my opinion, benefiting themselves. They ain't thinking about me, my kids, or anybody else.
Well, I will say this. I mean, I grew up in a very liberal state as well. So you don't know, Boston is probably one of the most liberal states there are. It's not conservative. They don't vote Republican for the most part. It's usually gonna be a Democratic, liberal candidate that either comes from Boston or that's what they vote for Boston. I will say, and again, we talked about what we grew up knowing, what we believe. So I grew up believing you just believe liberal. You believe liberal, you have liberal thoughts, you kind of agree with certain things. But once you get older, you start to realize, I don't really agree with that. I don't agree with that type of lifestyle. I don't agree with that type of belief. I don't believe with that type of ideal. And you start to develop your own, but you only get that by educating yourself. You don't educate yourself. You only listen to what you've been taught or you know what culture you grew up in. You don't.
Like
So
religion.
or religion. Religion is another one where people grow up. I know people who have tried different religions. I thought, based on my family background and my dad believed and what I saw in Boston, that Black people should be Muslims. I just figured Christianity, Catholic was just the right religion. And that if you're going to be anything as a Black man, you should be Islamic or a Muslim. But you grow up and you learn different things. I would say the difference of what I've taken on and I really appreciate with a conservative mindset is, and this always goes back to government involvement in situations, right? Do you want more government involvement? Do you want less government involvement? I grew up in the projects. I grew up in Mission Hill projects. I grew up in Franklin Field projects. Both receive assistance, both are programs that are heavily involved. I grew up with family on Section 8, welfare, all these different things, the government assistance programs. And to some extent they were helped, but also to some extent they're crippled. And they leave a lot of people who stay in the same situation, don't look to get out of that and just stay in a mindset of wanting to be helped and wanting to be, get up, come on, let's get it, let's go out and do something. And then the other thing that most people also talk about is Roe versus Wade. What do you believe when it comes to unborn children? And that is a big part when it comes to what your belief is.
It's interesting. Now that's a big topic. And I thought about that. I look at it from all angles, and I understand the woman's perspective. Like, well, it's my body, right? You got it's the my body perspective. And so if you do what you do and you get pregnant, it's the woman's decision to be able to have an abortion or not have an abortion. The only problem that I have with that is, okay, you can have that thought, right? But as a man, if I got you pregnant, say I got you pregnant, but I don't want you to have the baby, but you want to keep the baby, you can keep the baby, and then you can go put me on child support and force me to pay for a child that I didn't want. So how fair is that when I've told you, we was doing the do, it happened, but I don't want the baby. But you decide you want to keep the baby. So now I then in return have to pay for the baby that I didn't want. When really, if I wanted to keep the baby and you want to get rid of the baby, you just get rid of it. So
yeah, I would say when you was doing the do, you was having a ball doing it. And they got a little latex thing called a condom that you could have threw on, but you wanted the full thrusting power of of the full fulfillment of the feeling, right?
I get you.
So you provided something
right
into her that allowed you to get her pregnant.
She wanted
right?
Yeah.
She
allowed it. It wasn't rape.
Let me tell you something.
Right.
When you're in the heat of the moment, I don't think anybody's saying no, stop. She wanted it, you wanted it too.
But
But did you not think about the consequences of it? Not only pregnancy, diseases.
Think about that.
You wouldn't think of none of that.
That's what I'm saying. So immediately after you're done, you be like, oh, hey,
That's what
you
you
might
think
want
about.
to take the day after pill. And then you say, nah, I ain't gonna do it. Then I say, well, I don't want to have no baby if you get pregnant. And then you say, I'm keeping it. That's your decision versus my decision. The only thing of it is I'm impacted in a way to where I'm forced to pay child support. And you impacted in really no way. Either you keep the baby or not. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, she's still impacted because she's got to raise that baby.
Carry it, man.
She's got to carry that baby. And I don't know if you know, but a woman carrying a baby, that's hard. But that ain't easy.
That was her decision, right?
It was your decision to stick it in her.
But it was her decision to keep it.
It was your decision to nut.
We talking about bro.
I'm just saying, bro. Her decision to keep it. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you cannot turn around and blame this all on the woman when you
play it all on her.
You played a part in it, bro.
I played a part in it.
All right,
and
you could have stepped up.
I could have. Or she could have helped me strap up.
Here's
Here's the thing, they got girl condoms too, right?
But listen,
She could have strapped up too.
bro. Listen, I'm saying to you, there is more than one hole. You chose the one that you chose the one that allows you to impregnate her.
We're going down.
Most
I don't know
people
what hole we're going to go down right now, but let's get ready to be a different.
I'm just saying.
Let me make sure. So it sounds like you're not saying, you're just asking what is the man's input? Like, do they have any input in it? Is that what you're saying?
They don't have no input. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a choice. The woman you fight for a woman justice. I get, okay, it's the woman's body, it's the woman's choice. I understand that. But what I'm saying is if you're gonna do that, then the man should be able to have some say so too, like, I don't think you should keep the baby.
Let me ask you, have you had that? So the reason I haven't had that is because I've actually been in a relationship in two different instances where a miscarriage, but aborting a baby. Listen, I've been in two situations where aborting a baby. Listen, real talk. I've been in two situations where aborting a baby was something that we decided to do, and there was a mutual decision between the two of us.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't speak from an aspect of, I do think the woman has, because she does. I mean, birth for a woman is really something that's close to death. So there's always going to be a connection. We can all agree to this. A mother always has a connection with that child. Yeah. Fathers do too, but women just have that certain connection. And part of that is that birth connection.
Right.
So, there's a reason why they say it's a connection. It's a woman's right to do that. But in the two instances that I was a part of that decision.
Yeah, and I mean,
but it could have been opposite. You had the conversation with her, right? You say, I don't think we should have this baby. Right. She say, I don't know what you talking about. I'm handling it. Now, your hand for now, you responsible.
And a lot of times you can be resentful. There's a lot of guys who say, I don't want to do it. They say, yeah, now you're in a resentful relationship. Now you're stuck with a situation that, yeah. So I think we understood. So then you like, didn't want that.
Now you a no good daddy. I didn't want to be a daddy. So you don't really know the other hand.
If she decides not to, you can't step back from your responsibility. You got to step up.
I mean,
whether you want it or not.
And not only
that, you step back.
But look, bro, think about this. Think about this too.
It's double standard.
But look, think about this. Think about if you're in a situation. There's a lot of men that want the baby, and the girl don't. And the guy is saying, man, I've been wanting the kid forever. I want this baby. Mm-hmm. And the girl is saying, you ain't the one. I don't want to have your kid.
Right.
And then a decision is made, which the girl makes that decision because her body.
She takes that choice away from that guy.
But I will tell you this. If men were in a situation where they get pregnant, you would be the one want to make the decision what's going to happen for your body as well. You would not want your power to be taken from you in the decision making of what's going to happen with your body, how your body's going to change, how your life's going to be affected and change. Like, you want that ability. I think women should have that ability.
They should have the ability. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. Anybody should be able to do what with their body if they want to. What I am saying is, if the other party does not want it, and you want it, then that's on you. Sorry, I don't want the child. Now, if it's rape, if it's something drastic like that, she got raped, she stuck with a child, yeah, then too bad, that person should take care of it.
So you
But
just saying
that woman opened her legs just like he stuck it in. Both parties was having a great time until oops, she got pregnant. Now it's a decision to be made. I don't want the baby. Well, I do. I'm having it. I'm gonna put you on child support. I don't think that's a fair decision.
so you just saying that you feel like it should be a situation where man says he don't want the kid.
Right.
He should have the option to back out
He should.
and have no, even if she decided to keep the kid, he shouldn't be held responsible with child support and being able to be a part of the child's life because that's not what he signed up for.
Yeah.
Man, you're an idiot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let me tell you
That's what I'm
something.
saying.
If you,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
you are an idiot. If you
That's exactly what I'm
stick in and that pre-nut or after nut hit and it hit the right spot, you ain't thinking nothing about no responsibility at that moment. You thinking about getting that nut and that nut felt so good, but guess what? Responsibilities then came with that nut.
It's one-sided.
How's it one-sided?
Because if, like what you just said,
Nah,
if she don't want the
Nah.
baby and you do,
Nah,
can you force her to have it?
I think that
Can you force her to have it?
I think if you feel this way, you should just jack off. You should
Can
that
you
way.
force her to have it?
Look, that way you ain't ever got to worry about putting yourself
I
in
know
a
now.
situation. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Look, buy you some stock and Vaseline. No, buy you some stock and Vaseline, and you know work it out. You ain't never gotta put none of this responsibility on the woman.
What if you wanted the baby and she didn't? She got an abortion.
First of all,
What if you still stuck
Okay.
it in? She made the decision that you not gonna have this baby because
Okay.
I don't want to have a baby with you. So she got all the power and you ain't got no power. So you saying that's fine.
are you married to her?
I'm not outside my marriage.
No,
right now.
I'm asking. Are you giving a scenario where you are married to her and that's your wife?
Take care of my kids.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that you don't take care of the kid. I'm just asking, is this a situation where you're married and the man wants the kid, or this situation where you're dating somebody?
It's a situation where you done had y'all was at the club, y'all done had a hell of a
it's
night.
a date. Yeah.
And
But regardless, to me, the point is, if you made the decision, you gotta live with the consequences of the decision. Whether, regardless to, well, I don't wanna have this child, and for me, I don't wanna have it, we need to have it, she said, no, I'm going to. You think that because she says she's gonna, now again, I'm not somebody that believes in child support. My mother never took my dad for child support. I mean, you need to man up and take care of your kids. I mean, take care of your kids, handle your responsibility. But you're saying you think if you have a situation with a girl and she gets pregnant, and if you decide that I don't want to have this child, but she does, that should exempt you from all responsibility.
Yeah, because she can exempt herself from the responsibility. So why don't the man get a choice and the woman get all the choices? What I'm trying
You
to
have a
figure out.
choice, but the choice is overruled by the woman who carried it.
That's what I'm saying.
So you think from that, I'm not even talking about.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
talking about
The man has no power. The woman has all of it.
I mean, they got the power.
No, they don't got the power.
Yeah,
They don't got the power.
The power they had got you to not hit her. Now you didn't gave her your power. That's exactly what she had.
But if you want the child, she can take that away from you too.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Y'all,
No,
I'm not an idiot.
Listen,
Y'all
right.
y'all,
But it's not exempt you. You said it exempts you from responsibility. If your argument is I want them to take care of my child and she doesn't want to, you can fight for it. You're not gonna be able to fight for that at that moment. But if she does decide to have a baby and you want to fight for it,
yeah. If she have the baby, but she can say I'm not having it and go get an abortion and your dream is killed.
so your problem is just that you don't have any input.
At all.
At all.
Exactly. It's the sole proprietorship is in the woman's hands. She can have the baby or not have the baby. She can put you on child support or not put you on child support.
I'm gonna go back.
All the parties
I'm going to go back to court.
you want to have
You
it.
might want to look at Vaseline as
I'm not looking at nothing because I ain't having no more kids.
But look,
I'm just saying,
let me
I
pose
don't
this.
agree with y'all.
Okay, let me pose this. Look, let me pose this question. Okay. All right, so we done went through all of it. Let me pose this one. Night at the club, same girl, hanging out with her, y'all tipsy, whatever. Y'all decide to go back to a hotel and have a great time, right? Bam, smash it. She don't get pregnant. She goes her way, you go your way, right? And it's good, right? Right. Look, week or two go by, you noticing something wrong with your body, and she leave you with AIDS. Is that fair?
Not fair. She should have told you from the get-go.
I mean,
Again, she got power, and you know.
I mean,
again, she's trapped.
no. What if it was the man that was carrying it? What if the man gave it to her? Wait, hold on. What if the man gave it to her? Did you just take her power away?
That's not okay. I'm not saying that's okay.
I'm
If
just
you
saying.
know you got an STD and you decide you're gonna go out and have a fun night and you give it to somebody, that is not okay. I'm not agreeing with that.
I'm just saying, people do it all the time.
People do that all the time.
So just as well as there's power on both sides. There's power, the man has power, the woman has power.
Only power the man has is not having sex.
No,
Yeah.
the man could have a disease and decide not to use protection.
And the woman
And
can
he
do
just
that
took
too.
he just took that woman's power. Because who else is gonna want her now? Who else gonna wanna, she ain't gonna be able to have a kid. And if she does have a kid, she'll be on medicine the rest of her life. I'm just saying,
I
it
don't
goes
agree
both
with
ways.
I don't agree with that, but
I'm just saying it goes both ways.
I don't agree with a man doing
Look.
that, but a woman can do that too.
All the women out there, I got y'all, okay? Look, this right, he is a woman killer.
Good, dude.
And, you know, we over here fighting for y'all rights. At the end of the day, I feel like men have rights as well as women.
But you
You
can't
know?
tell me what the right.
I just gave an example.
Everybody can get STD. The woman can get a man.
I will say this, and I think the point Kyrie's trying to make in this, that in the case of abortion, women have all the right when it comes to abortion.
Right.
And I don't think we disagree there.
Right.
Women do have the right, the women do have everything because if they want to, it's their decision. If they don't want to, it's their decision. So I think we're agreed there.
Right.
I just want to make sure that the statement you made earlier, if she decides to keep the child, to me, that doesn't make you exempt from the responsibility that you have. That's the only thing.
It'll make you exempt if y'all agree to keep it, but I'm just saying, if you know that y'all just had a fun night and whatever happened, she let you smash without a condom, you gotta man up, right? You gotta man up. That's what they if she decides to keep it. Keyword, if she decides to keep it. You gotta man up. But if she decides to get an abortion and you want the child, then what? Then what you do? You just shrink? Because now you can't have this child because she just took that away from you.
But bro, you didn't prepare yourself by using the condom. You could easily use the condom. So you
I wanted the child. What was it? I wanted the kid.
Well, you picked the wrong one.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Oh, right.
I'm trapping her. I'm gonna keep this one.
Exactly. And then she just took my child away.
You got to imagine. I think you might have had a situation.
No, I ain't nigga over there crying. I ain't had a situation. I'm trying to tell you. I'm just trying to say that if the man wanted it, the woman didn't, she get rid of it. If the man didn't want it and the woman do, she can keep it.
Well, your question was, where's the man's power? Where's his choice? The choice is at the beginning of all that. That's your choice. She can't get pregnant alone. She's gonna get pregnant with you there. So if you really want that much power to dictate the situation, then you strap up, or you have that decision at the time. You say, you know what, I'm gonna get this girl pregnant because I want to have the child. But if she doesn't get pregnant, you go, oh man, I want to be a father. I ain't never been a father. It's been cool for me. Well, you gotta live with the consequences and no, she might be like, no, I don't want to do that to my body. I don't want to have this child, and you be like,
and you gotta get a decision.
Well, what?
Well,
you gotta stay with that.
No,
bro. What?
I want you to have this child.
No, but
have it for me, and then you ain't gotta take care of it.
No, but look, Kyrie, just saying. What happens to having the conversation with the girl, and you and her both agreeing that a kid is what y'all want?
Bro, y'all
I'm just saying.
Y'all ain't nobody had no discussion about it.
Did you just meet her that night? You just met her that night and said, I'm gonna get her pregnant. But they want trapping her. Right.
Y'all was in the club and you know, you have like one night stand thing, and maybe y'all don't even talk no more, and then you know, a month or so down the line, she hits you up and thinks you're pregnant. You're like, what? Wait, what?
First, you better make sure it's yours.
Right.
Get rid
Because
of
if you hitting it one night, it's some other folk hitting it one night.
She called me after a month talking about I'm pregnant again. We need to find out by who, because that might not be yours. You sitting there wanting a child that might not be yours. But I do feel like you're right in terms of this aspect. Men don't have any say in that aspect. I get
true.
I agree.
That's true.
I think men don't have enough say. And I think when you look at all of these policies that the governments have put in, they don't take into the account what a man has in those situations. But again,
I think the policies are outdated. I think the way that they do child support.
well, they just changed Roe versus Wade, didn't they?
No, I'm saying, but I'm just saying policies with child support in general. Like obviously, I've been on child support, so it's just like the way that they do things is just jacked in the first place. Like granted, I do believe in taking care of a child, which in my situation, I was taking care of my child.
Yeah, I don't think you need an entity to force you to, right?
Right. I take care of my child, but that person can then say nothing set in place in the courts, right? But you taking care of your child. No matter that girl, say 5 years down the line, y'all get mad, she can go to the courts, put you on child support and file back child support for those 5 years and say you never did nothing. But you've been taking care of your child the whole time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So then, like what, so how do you close that gap? Like how do you say, nah, he been taking care of his child. You can have as many witnesses as you want. I have receipts, they carry receipts, everything. You know what they told me? Good job, you doing what you're supposed to do. Back child.
Yeah, I think that's whack. I think that, you know, women, I'm gonna tell this, if y'all out here and y'all putting men on child support that's truly in their kids' life and that's truly supporting their kids and that's truly have a ton of evidence being present, and you doing that, you wrong. You are 110% wrong. And a lot of people out here, a lot of women out here, they utilizing this money for their own personal gain. You know, it's ridiculous. It ain't right.
It ain't right. Like some of the child support that you get, even if Switch Beats make $100 million a year, it don't take $100,000 a month to take care of no child.
But they're looking at the quality of life. They're looking at what the life of the child had compared to.
Are we really talking about Swiss Beats? Talking about his.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm about to say, you know, he got a wife. Then he did Alicia. Which one we talking about? Like, if you listening, bro, listen. How much love to you, man?
That was just a name I grabbed out of the air. I don't even know your situation, but I'm just saying, like, I think even then it should be a cap on whatever, or. If you feel like obviously as a man making that kind of money, then why don't you just let the child? You're looking at the quality of life. What type of quality of life? You see this woman now? She got a million, bro. She was just on Station Name. Now she getting $100,000 a month, and she's spending all that on the child. Is that what you telling me?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. So I think that they should take care of the child. $100,000 a month, though, bro. You really do. You overdoing it. You can say 10K. That's more than enough to take care of your child, and they can do whatever they feel like they need to do with $10,000 a month. It should be some type of cap. It shouldn't just go based off of what you bring in and then divide it. Because what I found out is on child support, you pay 50, the other person pay 49. If the child need daycare, you pay daycare. That ain't included in that 40 to 50 that you pay. And then you also put that child on insurance, which ain't included in what you're paying. So they really don't care about how much money. What about your quality of life?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I would agree with you that the law is not fair when it comes down to that. When you child support and all that stuff like that, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, you know. And I mean, what can you do about it? Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people out here being done unfairly, you know, every day by women that are getting child support, and the kids aren't benefiting from it. The woman is. I think there should be something in place where, you know, just like anybody else get locked up for like fraudulent claims and stuff like that. Like, what if the woman knows that kid ain't yours, and years down the line she can put you on child support, and then you find out it's not yours? The only thing happening is you get taken on child support. But they don't have to pay
They should have to pay all that money back that they got. Something should be put in
And
place.
jail time.
Right,
They
in
locked
jail
up.
time.
What's
They need to
wrong?
be, but
Well, listen,
nothing
that's why
happens.
I don't have no problem when someone says they're gonna take some of the child support. I need to see it. I need to see a blood test. I don't think that's an issue. If somebody's being brought to have someone pay child support, then you need to be like, all right, well, it needs to be taken to blood test. There's no way you're just gonna get taken to court saying this is my child, and you find out 18 years
In
later.
some states, if you and the girl was living together when the child was conceived, you're the father. He ain't nowhere around you.
So you can't get a blood test to determine that you're
You
the
know
father.
what? Was y'all living together? Yeah.
So if
You on child support, you the father. Yes, in some states, look it up, bro.
I'll be a fugitive of that state.
You the father.
I'll be a fugitive of
But,
that
hey man, you seen Deshaun? Nah, man. He gone, man. I think they said last I heard he was in China somewhere.
Nah, he moved.
He overseas.
Hey, it was a good one. When I had went to court at one time, it was a dude that was $97,000 in back child support. Because every time he get a job and they finally find him, he quit his job. That ain't funny. Cause she might need the money. She might need the money or whatever. But like that's how deep it goes. Like men ain't gotta really try to figure out how to live out here once you get placed on child support because they'll take whatever they'll take it, bro.
And big ups, there's a lot of women out here that don't, like I said, my mom didn't expect child support from my dad. There's a lot of women out here who don't do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out here who, men and women, have great relationships. I know a lot of family members who have great relationships where they don't work it out. But again, there's always those situations where they don't. And some of y'all ladies are wrong. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all ladies out there knowing that these men are doing the right thing by their children, and then you put them in compromising positions. Now you see why that man don't want to have a relationship with the child because of what you've done with him. So I agree with that. There's a lot of men out there. Big ups to you guys. Right, you know you're doing the right things by your kids, doing the right things by your family. In spite of some of these women out here that are 100%.
There's a lot of women out here, man, is trying to find a man with money to get pregnant by.
Right.
But they don't want to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just trifling. That's 100% trifling. If you're a woman out here and you're doing that, go get a job. Get a job, take care of yourself, be independent. Everybody want to talk about they get into the bag and if they getting bread and if they on their hustle or whatever. But if you are doing all that by the means of a man, you whacked.
You know, OnlyFans paid. They got women do OnlyFans on their feet.
They feel like they own their job, bro. They go on their job getting child support, and they sit there at home, wait on the child support check to come $100,000 a month, and they floss it. And you know, you do got the hard working women that's out there trying to take care of their kids because they did end up with a sorry guy and he ain't doing what he's supposed to do and all of that good stuff. But you know, there are good people out here and there are also bad people out here. So I'm not here to judge. I mean, obviously, it's really based off opinion of what you think. But I do think that some of the laws need to be looked into. A lot of this stuff is outdated, maybe worked back then. They just need to be updated. I think if you update the laws and actually hold people accountable, like what he said, like you gotta pay the money back and you get jail time, I bet you probably get a lot less people doing underhand stuff. I mean, still people gonna try to find a loophole because that's just what people do. But I do think that things do need to be refined at some point and just keep on going the same laws. That's just me. Obviously, we had a difference of opinion in certain aspects of whatever, but it's all good. It's okay. I agree to disagree. Hey, and that's life, guys. Sometimes you gotta do it like that. Y'all didn't see me go to the, hey, I'm finna go get my strap, come up in here and kill him on live thing like what people be doing now.
Hey, he
like,
wouldn't have made it to the car. He wouldn't have made it to the car. I mean, you know. I got the bag. Look, I got the bag right here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, he forgot. Chicago, we didn't let you make it to the car. Like, what's wrong with you?
But we can agree that, though. We can agree that our ideals, our thoughts, and everything that we have is based off of something. A lot of times that ain't where we are, but do you stay there? Question, do you stay there? Because I know, again, I grew up, my whole belief system where I grew up is a lot different than I grew up. And I'm grateful that you only get that with maturity. How to get there? What do your kids see? That's my question. what do our kids see right now? All of us want our kids, right now, we all live in, I grew up in a very city upstyle lifestyle. That ain't where I'm at right now. My kids don't live nowhere near this. When they go to the city, I don't know if they're as comfortable as I thought they should. But what do y'all do with y'all kids now? What is it like for your kids that grew up differently than how y'all grew up?
You know what, man? I think that that's a great question, but I think that that's a question for our next podcast. We can get into that and talk about our kids, but what's going to happen on June the 17th, though?
Yeah, so June the 17th, As a Man Thinks, he's gonna be feeding the homeless. So if you're in the Atlanta area, come out support. You can check out asamanthinks.org. Check us out to see exactly what we're doing. You can help donate. We can use your donations. It is a nonprofit, so you can definitely be affiliated with a nonprofit, and we'll track your money that you donate. But As a Man Thinks, June 17th, feed the homeless, support, donate, whatever you need to do, come out and help us as we feed the homeless and help our city.
Man, what they need to do, man, is the support and subscribe, man.
Hey, man, hey, make sure y'all check us out on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, Spotify. We there, man. Hey, also go to asamanthinks.org. Click that donate button. You don't care how much you donate. You can donate 50 cents, rapper, $1, $10,000, whatever you feel comfortable with donating, but you don't have to. So definitely come out and join us on June the 17th. We'll be feeding the homeless. I'll be out there, so I'm pretty sure y'all want to meet me. Courtney be around, but he ain't that popular. And Deshaun, if y'all want to talk serious, y'all know he'll be out there.
All right, As a Man Thinks. Peace.